So welcome, LaTasha. I'm very happy that you're on the program today. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this exciting foundation that you created a long time ago. Tell our viewers a little bit about it and what one person, two people, maybe three people have done and what you can do to make a difference and an impact.
So thank you for having me. I'm the executive director of LaTasha Wilson-Batch Foundation. LaTasha Wilson-Batch Foundation is about 20 years old this year. We will be turning 21 in August. And we're an educational-based foundation that impacts roughly 3,800 children in 8 counties in southwestern Pennsylvania. We started just back in 1999. Charlie started the foundation when he was drafted by the Detroit Lions. And we said he wanted to do some one-off programs. And the way that came about was back in 1996, Charlie lost his sister to senseless gang violence. Mm. And he always said that he never wanted another family to experience what him and his family went through, and understanding that the gentleman that his sister was with used her as a body shield, actually. And the trauma just kept living on and on. He said if he could ever make an impact in his community to change the lives of other adolescents, he would. And that's how LaTasha Wilson-Batch came about. Did some one-off programs up in Detroit. And then when he was fortunate and blessed, the Steelers brought him home to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And one program turned into 13 programs. And 20 years later, here we are celebrating our expansion of working with many different children, just changing the lives and impacts of children.
So take us back to the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Everyone says, well, I'd like to do something, but I'm just one person. I really can't make a difference. I've heard your story, and that's just so not true. You can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Tell me, how did you get started? Walk us through a few of the steps if someone wants to follow in your footsteps, creating an organization or partnering up with you.
So the best concept that works for us and could work for many is just think about what do kids love to do? Besides the fact of just looking down on the phone or just posing all day, Snapchat and everything else on the phone, get kids involved again. We'll go back to the basics. So we thought about that and we were like, oh, basketball. All you need technically is shirts and skins. That's all you need to play a hoop game. And you can get an egg crate and stick it up on the back of a board and a ball. Right. But what we did, we created a summer league basketball program. And we intentionally did it in the evening times when parents may have work a little later or they have different shifts that they work. And we did it for boys and girls ages 7 through 18. Program was free. You get volunteers that come out that are in the community that are familiar with the kids. They're able to work with the kids. So what happens is that you actually create a family environment in your community. And then from there, we start off with maybe about 25 kids and maybe about 38 volunteers. And at that time, you had their volunteer referees, volunteer coaches, scorekeepers. Everybody has a job to do. So everybody has a purpose. And then from there, the trick was that for us, okay, if you're going to play, you have to attend mandatory study hall.
Smart.
So now in the summertime, you bring a summer reading program in because most of the kids do not pick up a book throughout the summer. They think they're off.
Right.
So if you want to play, you have to read. So we make study hall right before their game. If they don't show, they don't play. That's the rules. It's our program. This is what we're going to do. So lo and behold, it actually worked. So we tricked kids to read a book in order to play basketball in the summertime. And this program went from, 25 kids, to now we're well over 400 kids, ages 7 to 18. We actually bring in additional, so kids that come as 11 different school districts for communities that don't get along and work together. Something when you put an orange round leather object in their hand, they get together, they're able to play, they're able to show sportsmanship. You teach all the different leadership skills because in team sports, leadership and different types of life skills come out.
So I'm sure you had times when you wanted to give up. This was too hard. This was too overwhelming, especially when you first started out, even maybe last week. What kept you going? What was something that really motivated you to say, no, I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to let this play out and see where it goes because we're making an impact. What was it for you?
It's every day that you never know what's going to walk through the door. Mm-hmm. And every time I think and I'm throwing in a towel, I don't see, especially when you're going through capital campaigns, right? And you're doing different funding things. You're just like, okay, you're tired. My energy is gone. And 2:45, 2:50-ish, my reminder happens every day. I'll hear the bell ring and you hear them start talking, you hear book bags, you hear book bags drop, quote drop on the floor. I'm like, is that the coat rack? But it's what they do. They just drop and go.
Right.
And they sign in and then they come back and they do the 2-knock tap on the door and they come and they look for that hug. And sometimes my hug is a little different. When it is that day when I'm just like, what is my purpose again? And I start doubting and questioning myself. It's those little arms that come around me and say, Miss Tasha, how's your day today? Because it's the way that we taught them. And they remind me, if I taught them that's how you're supposed to greet somebody, ask them how their day is, I need to ask you that too. So that reminder is like, okay, it works, and it's just something about that. I'd be like, okay, keep pushing. Or it could be the scenario, of unfortunate when I have a 12-year-old that walks to my door and says, Miss Tasha, I was raped. And it's a different mindset has to switch in. It's like, okay, it's not about me.
Right.
It's about my purpose of what I'm sitting there doing right now. How can I help this young lady still grow to be a marvelous young lady from the age of 12 now until, you were stripped of certain things like that you'll never have back.
Right.
My purpose has changed. Now it's like, how do we keep going? So, and then it's just the ones of celebration. That come through the door. Like, I had a great day today. I got green today. Okay, high five. We got green today, because you typically are on red. So let's high five all day. It's things like that that remind me my purpose. And this is why I get up every morning. This is why you come to this place. This is why, you're here because of what's going to happen or attending graduation. For ones that are graduating college and them coming back and saying, I'm going to volunteer for the summer while I'm in between trying to figure life out.
That must feel great.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It does. One young lady coming back from Kent State and, her coming back and you can see how she's matured. Right. She socializes more. She has more conversation. And she was like, okay, Miss Tosh, I'm here. Let's go. I'm going to do this program of work with Girl Talk today because she started Girl Talk 3 years ago with us. So now she gets to see it in a different way. And she's like, I'm going to work with the high school students on the lesson plans. That's what it's about. That's what makes me go every day. When I put my head on the pillow at night, I just close my eyes and just be like, okay, God, this is it's me and you. I hope I made you proud today, but tomorrow's probably going to be a little more challenging. Every day is not rainbows and lollipops. That's
right. But you're blessing a lot. You're not just blessing one or two. You're blessing an entire community or many communities. Yeah. It's really amazing. I don't think we can cover all of the things that you're doing with your organizations today. Let's jump ahead to the Christmas present idea. I saw the pictures and I was just completely astonished at the magnitude of what you're doing. Talk a little bit about that.
So this was our biggest year ever that we've had. We adopted 141 families. We do not pick our families personally. We work with school guidance counselors, organizations, and the civil housing authorities because they know the full family dynamics the best. They know whether it's incarceration, grandparents raised, foster care, or just this thing called life and this economic hardship right now. So we work with them, we get our families, and then we have to collect toys and household items for families. So every child gets anywhere from 7 to 8 toys, and every household gets a pot set, dish set, silverware set, comforter set, and glass set. It's the things that we take for granted. It's like the little things like you never know who may not have a comforter, who's sharing a bed, a comforter set. That it may not even be a set, just a blanket. Or the fact like who doesn't have a little boy in this house one time wrote us a letter, Mr. Batch, thank you so much for my spoon because I can eat cereal now. Like spoons, I have spoons I don't even use except for Thanksgiving. I don't have spoons. I get them stuck in the garbage disposal. I throw them out. And here it is. It's a little boy who didn't have a spoon. So, we look at those household items as necessities. So at this particular program, it takes roughly about 400 plus volunteers to make this program actually happen because we'll collect roughly about 6,000 presents and they all have to be wrapped. So we'll have a wrapping party. We'll have corporate companies that will come in and volunteer time, do leadership build parties that will wrap presents and things for that. And then the individuals do not know we're coming to the house on Christmas Eve. They just get a letter saying approved organization has adopted you for the holiday and will arrive between the time period on Christmas Eve. And we'll go and we'll knock on the door on Christmas Eve. And, when they typically see all of us, we have a laundry basket full of a turkey dinner with a bunch of different vegetables and fresh fruits and everything inside. We hand them a laundry basket of food. We hand these ginormous Santa sacks over to them. And by the time they realize it's Charlie, they're like, wait, was that Charlie? Wait a minute, Charlie. We're on to the next house because we just got to keep everything just going. And, we don't know the impact that we make on everybody, but we'll get a letter every now and then and they'll say, this was our tree before and this is our tree after, for the families and stuff that we impact for that. But it takes an entire army. We start in October collecting toys from toy drives to working with companies to be able to get, the bulk comforter sets and, the dish sets and the things, just many partnerships. So it's one of our programs that we enjoy doing, and you never know the impact that you'll actually make completely, but on some.
Well, you're making a huge impact. Charlie, for the people that are listening that you don't know anything about football, would you like to say,
sure,
who is Charlie Batch?
So first of all, I am the better half of Charlie Batch.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Sorry, Charlie, but guaranteed.
No, but my husband, Charlie Batch, played 15 years in the NFL, 4 years with the Detroit Lions, and 11 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. When he was 6 years old, his Halloween costume was a Pittsburgh Steeler. He is born and raised from Pittsburgh. So he actually played for his childhood team growing up. And this is the place that he grew up in. These are the streets that he walked, the streets that he talked to people. And he's making a difference and, leaving a legacy behind for the community and stuff to have.
That's great. That's terrific. Well, obviously you are a huge driving force. You're a powerhouse, which I love. The minute I met you, I was like, wow, this lady's making things happen. I can't imagine how full your heart is at the end of the day, even when you have your bad days. When you look back at your legacy so far, even if you didn't do anything else tomorrow, when you look back at all the lives that you have affected, is there what's a word or what's a feeling that best describes what you've done? Obviously pride. Yeah. I'm very proud of you, and I just met you.
A word. I would say the word complete, but not complete to be fulfilled. I have people coming back that we have impacted to give back, and it's a different cycle. So the thing is always to break a cycle. When you're in financially challenged communities working with children and families, they get stuck in that cycle. And it's time to figure out, how do you break the cycle? And it could be a cycle for me, it's the milestones, the small ones. When a child turns 17 and didn't have a baby yet, and their family for the past 3 years, it's been that generation, we're high-fiving, we're having cupcakes, so for me, that's complete, but I know my job is not done. When we send the food home at the end of the day for a child to be able to eat, and they say, I wouldn't have had food for the weekend. Okay, I'm complete at that moment, but my job is not done. And so I could say I'm complete. I'm not fulfilled, because I could always be filled up more. But that's one of the words, to keep going. Complete doesn't mean finished. It's just a moment of completeness right there. And you just keep going. So I think just watching, as programs keep going, from Girl Talk to Grub Time to STEAM Lab to all these different things that happened and when that child's out, that aha moment, okay, I'm complete, because you had that aha moment. And that aha moment is the best thing ever for us. We're like, oh, I learned something new today. For kids, it's just like, so, yeah.
Yeah. Big difference. Well, again, there's so many programs that you have. You have a backpack program.
Backpacks, yes.
Can you give us a few sentences on what that is?
Sure. Batch packs, what we do is that we roughly give out about 3,000 batch packs annually to children who are in school districts that are 85% higher free reduced lunch programs, or some schools are 100%. And we work with the head teacher at the grade level. And we ask them, if you had to have the perfect science project for all your kids, or the math project, or whatever social studies, what will be the items that you need? And we make sure we provide every child at that grade level the particular items they need. So when it comes to binders come from 1 inch all the way up to 5-inch ring binders. And they come in different styles and, from cheap to really good ones. So we make sure every child has that same binder. Everybody's on an even playing scale. Everybody gets the same ruler, binder, pencil, notebook, index cards, you think of it, we name it, we give them that with a great book bag that they're able to have to be able to do the project. And we give them crayons and markers and the stuff they could take home and use in and out of school too as well. But this way, you don't have a child who's at disadvantage when it comes to not being equipped with the things they need. Because when the child is equipped and they have all the items, and they look at their friend next to them who they thought might have been a little bit better than them or smarter than them, like, wow, now I have what I need to be just as smart as you, and I'm going to work hard and use everything that you do, I'm going to do. And they have everything, they're equipped. When you're equipped, you feel better, you perform better. And that's what we try to do with the Batch Pack program.
Very nice. Very nice. Is there anything about your programs that you really want people to know today? What's important, or anything that we haven't covered? There's so much more to go in. We'll tell you how to get there. But is there anything about the programs that you really, really want to stress to people out there?
Change happens. Children change, life change, adjust to it. Sometimes it's okay to change the progress of your program. Understand that there's a lot of other challenges. Our children are being raised by social media. Don't hide from it. Engage into it. Learn about it. Understand it. Understand what a child actually is watching and listening to, because you'll be surprised. And that's one of our things. We don't block social media from our content on our computers, because I'm able to watch every computer from my desk. And when they get on and they're on Facebook, if something is happening out in the streets, okay, they think I'm the genius and I know everything. So there's no such thing in our building as snitching. So they're like, Miss Tasha knows, so you might as well just tell her. You know, we're able to prevent. And if you're able to prevent anything, whether an incident, whether a child getting in trouble or a parent that might need help, you're able to engage that way. So don't shelter yourself, or don't shelter people in your organization, or even volunteers. When volunteers come in, I tell them, you may hear very big words that make you go, oh, did that child just say that? Yes, they did. And this is the reality of it. But you know what? Don't shelter people from it. Just adjust to it, change, and figure out how can we correct it? How can we work with it? And I think that's the biggest thing that people in our organization that we do. When whatever comes through the door, we deal with it. We work with it. We figure out how to fix it, how to adjust, and how to go. Because go time is always show time.
I love that. I love that. So you're really listening. You're really listening, and you know exactly what's going on in their world and their day-to-day. And then you can certainly pivot and maybe change their course, or at least be there for a shoulder. Obviously, they trust you.
Yes.
They come back to see you every day, and you give them a hug and reassurance. So they're going to take your advice, and maybe you can steer them away from a bad situation.
Absolutely.
Or fix something that didn't go so great.
And if we can't, partner with somebody that can.
Right.
We're not about reinventing the wheel. We're not about fit. We can't save everybody, but we could figure out a solution to try and to attempt to guide and to direct. You know, these are little humans. If we don't, who will? And we just hope that when they get to be our age, as they grow and continue to develop, that they come back and do it for someone else. You know, it's just the good, making a difference in life. That's all we can do. The thing is, are you mad? Are you making a difference? Damn right I'm mad. You know, that's
good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. If people want to get involved, donate their time, donate resources, get their organization, their company connected with you and partner up. Maybe they've got, surplus at the end of the year and they want it to hand it over. How do they get involved with you to get connected?
Oh, please, at any time, they could visit our website at batchfoundation.org. You could, if it's too hard to remember, just search Charlie Batch and it'll come up. But batchfoundation.org is our website for people to come and visit. If they want to stop by, if they're in the Pittsburgh area at any given time and they want to come by all means, please come up and see our facility in our building. And we're growing. We're going from, 6,000 square feet to 33,000 square feet.
That's huge.
We're building a state-of-the-art STEAM lab. So we're trying to make sure everything's equipped appropriately, a gymnasium, a dance studio, a cafeteria to bring home economics back. We're doing everything that you think that a child needs to be exposed to that helped raise us will be right there in the facility at their hands. So by all means.
And this started with one person wanting to do something. Obviously, you are a great executor that came in next to him. And
we're a staff of 3.5. Yes.
So you can make a big difference with a staff of 3.5.
Yes, you can. It's passion, commitment, determination, and then just to see the progress. Where there's progress, there's hope. And that's the thing too, as well. And maybe just the littlest things, but changing a C to a B and a B to an A, that's progress. You have to count those things.
Impressive. Thank you so much for stopping by today. This has been really fun, Tasha.
Yes.
Thank you.